Federal judge says he is not yet prepared to throw out the case against President Trump's former national security advisor, Michael Flynn, who pleaded guilty twice to charges of lying to the FBI back in 2017. Joining me now is NBC News Justice correspondent Pete Williams. Pete, what else happened at this hearing, and what does this mean going forward?
Well, the hearing isn't over yet. It started at 11 o'clock this morning, and the judge, Emmett Sullivan, is still at it, listening to the lawyers for Michael Flynn, who, as you know, pleaded guilty twice to lying to the FBI about his conversations with Russia's ambassador during the Trump transition. Now, as you know, the government asked in May to have the case thrown out. His lawyers obviously agree with that. And today, the government said, we just don't think we could take this case to trial because the people who interviewed Flynn, the two FBI agents who were involved in the interview, have since been discredited, either because of their texts or because they've been now accused of misleading the FISA court, the court, to get a warrant, a surveillance warrant for Carter Page, and they're not credible witnesses. And they also said that an FBI agent who worked on the Flynn case has now been interviewed by the FBI and by the prosecutor appointed by William Barr to look into how the FBI handled this case. And he says he thought the investigation was chaotic and disorganized and looked like an effort simply to get President Trump. Well, the special counsel, the amicus that was appointed by Judge Sullivan to argue the other side here, says, number one, that FBI agent was just interviewed recently. He was not the reason the government sought to get the case dismissed. He continues to maintain that this was all because of the connections that Michael Flynn had to the president, that any other reason the government argues for wanting to throw the case out is a pretext. Now, one interesting thing that happened today in this hearing is that Sidney Powell, who's the lawyer for Michael Flynn, said under questioning from Judge Sullivan that, yes, she in fact did talk to President Trump in the last few weeks about the case, giving him an update and also talking to White House lawyers about the case, and that she said she also asked the president not to pardon Flynn. That's all she said about that. Unclear whether she meant don't pardon him now or don't pardon him at all. All she said is she told the president, she urged the president not to pardon him. So the judge hasn't made a decision on this yet. It did seem like he wants to hear from all sides, suggesting that he hasn't made up his mind about this yet. Is it expected that the decision would be today, Pete, or could be later? No, I can't imagine the decision will be today. He's already told the lawyers for both sides they can present additional arguments. He's going to make it pretty soon. And then, of course, if he says that the case shouldn't be dismissed and he wants to move to sentencing, of course, Michael Flynn's lawyers will immediately appeal that.
All right, Pete Williams live in D.C. with that breaking news. Pete, thank you.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.